Okay, after Mercury, okay, let us look at. No, it's anybody who has Atma Karaka. These are all Gemini Karakas rather. Gemini Karakas are not used like this. They are for different reason. When I teach Gemini, I will definitely teach you that. Okay. Gemini Karakas are different. Do not think Atma Karaka is going to give you these traits. No, it's not like that. Okay, look at Cancer. So Cancer, what we can see is Patalo Vanachari cha Brahmano Nishiviryavan Bahupadi Sthulatanus Tada Satvaguni Bali Prishtodai Karakarashir Mrugankadhipatihi Smritaha. The most important word I would think in this is the Smritaha. Although it's just a two-letter word, Smrita in Sanskrit, the most important word I would think is this one. Smritaha means the memory. So Cancer always holds memories. How do we understand this? Somebody who has got an excellent memory. Okay, this can be both positive and negative. Do not think having a great memory is a good thing. Sometimes it can act very negatively as well. The positivity anyway, somebody who has an excellent memory power, he can use it for the benefit of remembering a lot of things. However, God has gifted humans with a big, bliss to forget. Sometimes it is very important to forget certain things. If you do not forget them, the person becomes, hysterical. He keeps thinking, let us suppose some insult happened to him, and he keeps thinking of that time and again and keeps cursing himself for behaving in one particular way so that he was insulted. For that is the only negative side of this smrita, and you have to see whether that person falls into it or when you use Cancer. However, the positive side of it is the person has an excellent memory of things. You can say photographic memory. You can say the verses or these statements, such things. Somebody reads a lesson, somebody reads a letter, he remembers word by word and all that. That is smritaha. Or it can also mean the person has done something to the world, and that is why he is being remembered by the society, because Cancer is a society. Smritaha would mean he's being remembered. Okay, it could be a society, it could be something else as well. The person is being remembered in the community. The person is being remembered in the family for the good deeds that he has done, despite he has left the world. Okay, so even after death, the person is remembered who has Cancer. So, or Cancer would be remembered rather. Mrigankadhipatihi, that means the moon. Mriga Anka Adhipatihi. This is intentionally the Mriga is being used here. Mriga is we've talked about this in the Mrigashira. Mriga means the deer that is running. So moon is constantly running. Okay. And Cancer is something which lies in the 4th house. So it is constantly running for the comforts. Okay. Cancer is looking at constant comforts. Or how do I comfort myself? Okay. Or how do I escape from the problem? This is what deer would be constantly looking at. Let no problem fall on my head. Let me just drink water, keep running here and there, eat all the leaves in the forest, sleep nicely, but still be constantly worried even while sleeping or drinking or eating, because I'm sure one day the lion is going to see me or the tiger is going to see me and it is going to eat me. This is what I'm very afraid of. Okay, so the being afraid is also Cancer. Okay. Prishtodai is something that rises from the back. Okay. So not having enough intellect as much as the other Gemini or the Virgo Rashis that we have talked about. Okay. Karka Rashir Mrigankadhipatihi, we have understood that. Sattva Guni, this also is one of the important words, I would say. Sattva Guni would mean a Brahmin, or it's not a casteist comment once again. Sattva Guni is something, you look at the the Parashurama Charitra, where the Parashurama's father was sitting in the ashram, and the cow was taken away from him. And, because the Jamadagni, the Parashurama's father, is a Satvik, he could not stop the king taking away the cow from him. It was one of his blessed, very dearest domestic animal. He was keeping with the cow alongside him always. But he couldn't fight the sattva. The only drawback with it is, although you may think sattva is a very good thing, I don't deny sattva being very good, but the kind of yuga we are in, sattva is not good. Okay, please keep this in mind. If you're having sattva, it means that praying gods is essential. Okay, God can help you, and the person cannot help himself because it's too much of sattva in him now. The person cries, blames. What did this man do? The Jamadagni, the father of Parashurama, do when the cow was taken away from him? He complained it to Parashurama and said, "Look, the cow is no more. Not able to live without it. And I'm crying. I haven't had any meal ever since then." Okay. So Parashurama is a Rajasic. So immediately he said, "Look, I'm going to cut all of those kings. Everybody I'm going to kill. All the kings will be killed." Okay. So that is Rajasic went into Tamasa. So what happened ultimately? He could win. He could compete. Sattvikas are those people who will complain, who will blame others. Okay. Sattvika will blame others. This is the negative side of it. But Sattvikas are those people who are a little blessed because they believe that something happens for a reason. There is a reason and a karma came up on my head. Let me take this karma. Okay. The other side of it is, if I pray God, there is a chance that there can be a revival. Okay. And most of the times, God as well helps when there is a Sattvika sign. Okay. So, or God's help cannot be denied. Let us suppose the person is an atheist, and if cancer is the cause of the problem, then there is more problem because he does not want to take the help of God. You can make 100 things out of this. This is how the shlokas have to be understood. Okay, just reading, okay, Sattva Guni is good, Rajo Guni is average, Tamasa Guni is bad. This is a very, very LKG level understanding that is not going to work. Okay. Stula Tanus, that means somebody who has a big round body. Okay, or a big body, who has Sthula Kaya. Tanu means the body, Stula means big. Somebody who is, Cancer is a watery sign. So usually the watery signs provide a lot of watery nature, or the body is little plumpy. Okay. Bahupadi, it means like an insect. Insect has many legs. So something kind of an insect, or anything that has many legs. So there are three kind of things. Dvipadi, that means two-legged. Chatushpadi, that means four-legged. Yeah, 70% is water. That's right. Chatushpadi is four legs. Please don't send in messages constantly. I'll lose the flow. Chatushpadi is four legs. Unless asked for, please don't render help. You can still make your points at the end of the class. Chatushpadi is four legs. Bahupadi is many legs. Nishi Viryavan, somebody who is, strong at night. Okay. Patalu, that means who has a very rosy white complexion. This is the very ideal complexion to have. So somebody, when I used to touch my great grand uncle's feet, who I was learning astrology from the first during 97, 96, 98, that time, he was of this color, the Patala Varna. That means when you touch his feet, right? If you touch it, it is going to become little rosy there because there is enough blood in the body. He's extremely fair complexioned. So if you touch him, as if he will turn red. Okay, so that's the usual ideal color a person needs to have. We usually nazuk. We use that word in Hindi, right? Or nazuk, I think, is the right word. He looks that soft kind of a person where he would, upon touching, he would become reddish. Vanachari, that means somebody who's traveling in the forests or faraway lands. Okay, so Parvata would mean somebody who's trying to reach the acme or going to go upwards in life. Vanachari, who is willing to go away from those cities and go into the forests or stay in a place where it is far off from the motherland, or somebody who wants to give up everything and then stay in the forests, not see many people. Brahmano, again, this is a negative word if you ask me. Brahmano would mean who is dependent on the gods for any good to happen. Rajasika would mean who is going to fight for himself. He's okay to believe God, but still he will do his act and then believe God because that is the right way of doing things. So Rajasika is the best thing. Brahmana would mean, I'm talking about a society that exists today, wherein there is no Brahmin, or because the caste is no more valid today. You're not doing the same work as the caste is. So in today's world, all that you need to be in the same competition as everyone else is. So there is no caste thing exists anymore. So Brahmano is not a very, very good thing to have. So people who are looking upwards for help. Okay, I'm in a problem. You need to help me. Okay, this is what Cancer would need. So he walks up to somebody who is powerful, who can help him, or he looks upwards and says, "Oh God, please help me." I'm not saying this is bad. What I'm trying to say is, if you have the caliber, courage, and things, etc., to do, it is more easier to reach the goal rather than looking upwards and praying the God. Okay, sometimes some things need this because nobody else other than the God can solve certain things. For that, you need God's help anyway. So your prescription of a remedy should be based on the kind of Rashi. Okay, if there is a planet that is positioned in the Tamas Rasi, it means that you cannot remediate with a God's thing. Seldom you can do it. You have to make the person work in a particular way for the planet or the Rashi to be working well. You cannot prescribe yajna, homa, things like that. It's too difficult for tamasa things. That is why remedying Virgo, a lot of people will say that. I heard this long back that remedying Virgo is extremely difficult. If a planet in the Virgo is causing a problem, it is too difficult to remedy it because that demands no puja, that demands something, a behavioral change from the person himself, because the buddhi, right? You have to change your buddhi, and it is one of the most difficult things to change, the moon and the Mercury. They're very difficult to remedy or very difficult to change. All right, so we have Cancer is done. Now we move to the moon. Let us see what moon has to offer. So the moon offers us with this mantra, which is Bahu Vata Kaphaha Prajnas Chandro Vrutta Tanur Dvijaha Shubhadruk Madhuvakyascha Chanchalaha Madanaturaha. Okay, so again, let's start from the last word, Madana Aturaha. Somebody who is constantly thinking about sexual intercourse. This is what moon is. because he eloped with this lady Tara, the wife of Jupiter. Okay, Madana Aturaha would mean can mean two things. I mean, parliamentarily, we can say somebody who has um, you know, somebody who is starving for love or affection from people. Okay. So somebody who thinks, I'm not getting enough love from people, or I'm not getting enough love from my wife. Okay. So Madanatura is that. Or somebody who is constantly in the pursuit of sexual happiness. Okay. Chanchalaha can also mean who is constantly changing his opinions, or cat on the wall, right? Moon is the cat on the wall. Manas is a cat on the wall. If Manas feels threatened, you look at yourself, Manas would mean the mind. If the mind feels threatened in something, he is going to change positions very quickly. This happens with everyone. Don't think you are a Yamadharmaraja or a Dharmaraja. It happens with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. It happens for everyone. If the Manas feels unsafe, it is going to change the goalposts. It will immediately change the party. Let's suppose you are a politician, especially in the Indian context. If you think that this party is not going to win, you're going to change the party and go into the other one. That is what is usually happening, and it happens because your manas keeps saying that, look, this party is anyway not winning. Let us change the party. Okay, and Moon is a royal planet as well, right? Why you are in the public service as well is because of the Moon or the Cancer. Cancer is the fourth house where the public resides, and Moon is the planet that that owns it. However, Cancer is very different than what the Moon is. Cancer is a Satvika. Moon is more of a Rajasika. Understand the difference. Okay, so Moon is more Rajasic, but the planet, the place it owns is more Satvika. Or in other words, the destiny or the office of the Moon is clean. Manas has to be clean, which is the Cancer, right? But because it's clean, Moon cannot do anything. Moon actually has given up Cancer and said, look, let me make the Taurus as my office because it's more Rajasic, right? So Moon has picked up Taurus that for that reason. Otherwise, Moon did not want to go elsewhere. He has a very royal big palace. It has the Manas or the Cancer inside, wherein it doesn't have to go anywhere. Okay, Chanchalaha Madhuvakyascha, who is, honey coating everything. You can see people with this Moon, honey coating everything, not putting things very straight, trying to be overly diplomatic. Okay, this can also mean two things. One is, delivering a bad news as well in a way wherein it's like a good news. Okay, or it can show a diplomatic person, or it can also show, cunning personality wherein he's trying to sugarcoat everything and trying to give it to you. That is what Mathu Vakyascha. So the person can be cunning, or the person is a big strategist wherein he doesn't want to let's suppose you're owning a big company, right? Something happens. There is a press meet. For you to protect your company shares not to be falling, you usually give a press release. You tell them, look, this is what happened and this is what we are trying to do. And while we say that, there are people who will write that particular thing and give you, look, this is what you need to give it to the press so that everything is in order. Okay, yes, we accept that there is some mishap, but we have quickly rolled it back, and something is happening so that the sharp slide of shares does not happen and the company is not going to go down. Sometimes it is necessary, you cannot help it. That is what the Moon will provide with. Okay, Shubhadrak, something that has a very good sight. Okay, or who has a very good eyesight, or something when the Moon is being aspecting, if the aspect of the Moon falls on something, it is going to be good. Even that can be an understanding from this. Somebody who has a good eyesight, or when Moon aspects something, it is a good thing to happen. Okay, Vritta Tanur Dvijaha. Vritta means a circle. Tanu means a body. So somebody who has a body more like a laddu or a circle, or who has, more like a, uh, the ellipse or the ellipsoid person who is more plumpy and bulky. Okay. Vritta Tanur Dvijaha, somebody who is a Brahmin. Okay. So Prajnas Chandro, Prajna, that means somebody who is extremely capable. Mind is extremely capable. Do not think Mercury is capable. Actually, mind is more capable to create more illusions in you. Mind is the person, I will say, either it can pull you down or make you the king. Because if you're sitting in a class, you look at the classes like LKG, first grade, second grade, third grade. By the time the guy reaches the second grade, right, the guy will understand that, look, I do not belong to that league of the first or the class first or the second or things. I mean, today, every day, every place we see the rating or the grading system. So we've lost it. Otherwise, when we were studying, right, we all remember there used to be like class first, second, third, and all. Most times, people who stood first in that class at those levels of the first grade, second grade, third grade, etc., they are still going to continue and they are going to still fight, and maybe they want to sit most of the times at the first 1, 2, 3 ranks in the class. But who has decided very early in the life that, look, I don't belong to that league? He's already given up because of the moon, because his moon said, look, you don't belong to that league. Again, once I've given you all that stuff. So this does not mean the moon is in the sixth house or the eighth house or other things. In fact, when the moon is in the sixth house or the eighth house, people have performed much better than moon being in a very good position. Just as a Gallup poll or a survey, it does not mean moon has in the moon's positions from the lagna of the D1 chart are no way useful to stand first or second or third in the class. In fact, the D1 chart is completely useless if you have to see what the academic thing is. You can use the D10. A lot of people think it is D24, but D24 is the Siddhamsha. Siddhamsha is for the Ashta Siddhis. If you are in the process of getting any Siddhis, etc., Siddhamsha is a good chart. This is what I think. I use D10 mostly for everything. Okay, this is what is moon all about. Okay, and let us go to